Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada Guru Maharaj. Kiran Prabhu, whenever you're ready, please go ahead, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances to all of the people who joined this Zoom call. Thank you, Sundaranand Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity to read today's Bhagavatam Sloka translations. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Let me start with quick prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकीम् नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषे शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Today we are reading from Canto 10, the Samam Bonam, Chapter 60. Lord Krishna teases Queen Rukmini from slokas 16 to 30. This chapter describes how Lord Krishna provoked anger in Queen Rukmini with joking words and then consoled her, thus demonstrating the opulence of lovers' quarrel. So, sloka 16. O Vaidarbhi, not being farsighted, you don't realize this, and therefore you choose us as your husband, even though we have no good qualities and are glorified only by deluded beggars. Sloka 17. Now you should definitely accept a more suitable husband, a first class man of the royal order, who can help you achieve everything you want, both in this life and the next. Sloka 18. Kings like Shishupala, Shalva, Jarasandha, and Dantavakra all hate me, O beautiful thighed one, and so does your elder brother Rukmi. Sloka 19. It was to dispel the arrogance of these kings that I carried you away, my good woman, for they were blinded by the intoxication of the power. My purpose was to curb the strength of the wicked. Sloka 20. We care nothing for wives, children, and wealth, always satisfied within ourselves. We do not work for body and home, but like a light, we merely witnesses. Sloka 21, Sukadeva Goswami said, Rukmini had thought herself especially beloved by the Lord because he never left her company. By saying these things to her, he vanquished her pride and then he stopped speaking. Sloka 22. Goddess Rukmini had never before heard such unpleasantries from her beloved, the Lord of universal rulers, and she became frightened. A tremor arose in her heart, and in terrible anxiety she began to cry. Sloka 23. With her tender foot effulgent with the reddish glow of her nails, she scratched the ground, and tears darkened by her eye makeup sprinkled her kumkuma reddened breast. There she stood, face downward, her voice choked up by extreme sorrow. Sloka 24. Rukmini's mind was overwhelmed with unhappiness, fear, and grief. Her bangle slipped from her hand, and her fan fell to the ground. In her bewilderment, She suddenly fainted, her hair scattering all about as her body fell to the ground like a plantain tree blown over by the wind. Sloka 25. Seeing that his beloved was so bound to him in love that she could not understand the full meaning of his teasing, merciful Lord Krishna felt compassion for her. Sloka 26. The Lord quickly got down from the bed, manifesting four arms. He picked up her, gathered her hair, and kissed her face with his lotus hand. Sloka 27 and 28. Wiping her tear-filled eyes and her breasts, which were strained by tears of grief, the Supreme Lord, the goal of his devotees, embraced his chaste wife, who desired nothing but him. O King, expert in the art of pacification, Sri Krishna tenderly consoled pitiable Rukmini, whose mind was bewildered by his clever joking and who did not deserve to suffer so. Sloka 29. The Supreme Lord said, O Vaidarbhi, do not be displeased with me. I know that you are fully devoted to me. I only spoke in jest, dear lady, because I wanted to hear what you would say. Sloka 30. I also wanted to see your face with lips trembling in loving anger, the reddish corners of your eyes throwing sidelong glances, and the line of your beautiful eyebrows knit in a frown. So this is the end of today's translation reading. And now Krishna Venudas Prabhuji will give the overview of these slokas translations. Please take over this call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Kiran Prabhuji, for reading today's Bhagavatam section slokas translation. And thank you all for joining for today's this morning Bhagavatam call. And today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 60. Lord Krishna teaches Queen Rukmini from slokas 16 to 30. And thank you, Sundarananda Prabhu, for giving this opportunity to share a few points from the purports and for my own purification. So we'll start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakya Chakshurvanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachyapta Deshitarani. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So just to give a background, so we're in the section of Krishna's household life, the ideal family life. And also we heard so far how Krishna got married to 16,108 princess. In the last chapter, we heard how Krishna killed Narakasura, who is the son of Bhudevi, and then married that 16,100 princess whom Narakasura kidnapped. Then we also heard about how Lord took away the Parijata tree from heaven and fought with Indra. Then we heard how he started performing his ideal family Grahastha life, manifesting himself in each of 16,108 queens' palaces. And the last section of this chapter, last section, Grace Shyamdula Mataji nicely summarized how Krishna one day he's at Mother Rukmini's bedroom, and while Mother Rukmini and her maid servant are performing various services at the lotus feet of Supreme Lord Krishna. And in this occasion, so Krishna wanted to tease Mother Rukmini. So for that, he started mentioning to Mother Rukmini jokingly, saying that, there were many kings who wanted to marry Rukmini. But, and in fact, either his brother, he wanted to give Rukmini in marriage to Sisupala. So then he asked, like, why did you accepted me as your husband who is unsuitable? Because one time he fled away from the war when Jarasandha was attacked. So he was mentioning that I fled away from the war, and also I transgressed worldly morality, and I don't have anything, I own nothing, and on top of that I am dear to the only poor people, like that. So he was mentioning, and in the last sloka also we heard how Krishna mentions that then generally the marriages happen between the equal level. So it could be same social class, or uh, same kind of wealthy people, or similar beauty, something like that. So then only that marriage can flourish, something like that. So then continuing that, so today we'll go through the sloka 16 to 30, what happened afterwards. So Krishna is continuing teasing Mother Rukmini with the words. So in the 16th sloka, he's saying that to Rukmini that Adirga Samikshaya. So he's saying that you did not have a long-term vision. So why he's saying that? Because you have chosen who doesn't have any good qualities. Gunairhina. So he's saying that you have chosen a person who doesn't have any good qualities. On top of that, I am glorified by beggars only. Bhikshubihi. And that too out of their bewilderment. Slagita Mudha, like that. And Srila Prabhupada also mentions in his Krishna book that so generally people who are very rich, either their wealth or any other opulences, they are not much interested in performing Krishna consciousness. But who are very poor, whether it could be they are poor, whether by the force or by circumstances, whatever it may be, if one is poor, then they will show some interest in performing Krishna conscious opportunities, like that. And he's saying, Prabhupada mentions that even these people who are very rich, because they are proud of their riches, even sometimes when devotees goes and try to give their association, or try to give the books, or share this wonderful Krishna conscious philosophy, they are not much interested. They don't take any advantage of that. But the poor classes may be able to take it. So it's similar to what Mother Kunti also prays, right? In her prayers, Janma Ishwarya Sutta Shribhir, Edhamana Madha Puman, like that. She says that, who are trying to progress in the path of material opulences, like it could be either high birth or Aishwarya, or getting a lot of wealth, or good education, or good beauty. So those kind of people, they will not be able to approach you with sincere feelings. They will not be able to worship you with sincere feelings. And Prabhupada mentions that they are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord with a feeling way, heartfully, like that. So that's why here Krishna is mentioning that therefore your selection is not very intelligent, because you have chosen who's basically glorified by the beggars, and I owe nothing, like that. So even Chaitanya Charitamrita also, we see that pastime of Kolavai Charsyadarama, right? So he performs wonderful devotion, but Mahaprabhu, when he is not at taking the sannyas initiation, so he comes to Kolavai Charsyadarama and performs a beautiful pastime, saying that, hey Sridhar, why are you worshipping Lord Vishnu? So he didn't give anything to you. So you are very poor. But you see, like, there are many other people in the village. They worship many other demigods like Durga, Mother Durga, or Lord Ganesh, or Lord Shiva, or something like that. But they have a good opulences. They have a good house and all those things. But you don't have a good house and even proper dressing, all those things, like that. But Kolavechar mentions that the goal of the human life is to develop Krishna prema. So, and that's where he gets a great pleasures. So, and in Krishna also mentions in Bhagavad Gita, right? So the devotees derive more happiness than the people who are trying to be happy with the material things. So that's why he says Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So they derive great happiness. So compared to what the material people trying to get happiness, of course, in this material world, it's a dukkha only. So that's why here Krishna is mentioning that your selection is not very intelligent. You appear to be very intelligent, and you seems to be trained by your father and brother, but in this case, you have made a great mistake in selecting a good companion like that, because he's teasing. And the next sloka is Krishna is continuing saying that now you should definitely accept a more suitable husband. Bhajasva. So please accept Kshatriya Rishabham, a first class man of the royal order. So he's saying that, and Prabhupada also mentions in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna book, that saying that so Krishna indirectly mentioning to Mother Rukmini that there is no harm. Okay, you did a mistake earlier by selecting me as your companion, but there is no harm. Still, you can rectify it. Better late than never, something like that. Right? So you have a liberty now to select a suitable husband who is an unequal to your opulence, family tradition, wealth, beauty, education, in all respects. So he's mentioning like that because you made a wrong selection. And in fact, you have because how Mother Rukmini chose Krishna, because she heard about Krishna's great qualities, form, and beauty, all these things. So Krishna mentions that so you mistakenly heard about me having a exalted character, although I was nothing more than a beggar like that. So he is mentioning like that, and you didn't see me. So hence you have you did a mistake selecting me as your husband. You haven't done in a proper way like that. So that's why here he is advising. Now you select one of the great Kshatriya. And Krishna is proposing Rukmini. So in a way, Krishna is proposing Rukmini to divorce him. And when he is saying these things, so Mother Rukmini already had many grown-up children. And we'll hear in the upcoming chapters also, like, he had each queen has 10 sons and 1 daughter, and they also had many sons and daughters like that. And we'll hear Rukmini's grandson or Pradyumna's son, Aniruddha's marriage, and all those things also in upcoming chapter. So Krishna is proposing this thing at a stage where Rukmini had many grown-up children. And so that's why Prabhupada mentions that the Krishna's whole proposition so appeared to be something unexpected, because according to the Vedic culture at that time, there is no such things called divorce. There is no separation of husband and wife, what we see today's modern cultures. So that's why, though economically advanced, actually, our ethical and morality is going down in today's world. And on top of that, it is impossible for Rukmini to be separated from Krishna. And on top of that, even if we look at it from the perspective of the material standards, it's not possible for Mother Rukmini to choose a new husband at her advanced age, because she had many married sons at that time. So whatever the proposals that Krishna is putting here to Mother Rukmini appear to be very crazy. So that's why she's very surprised to see Krishna speaking like that. And we see that in the next upcoming slokas, her anxiety is increasing, because Krishna is mentioning here in which way, in a way that Krishna is proposing to be separated from him like that. So just thinking about that, the thought of separation from Krishna, Mother Rukmini's anxiety is increasing, and her it is just shocking for her like that. So, and of course, in the purport, it is mentioned that what Krishna is trying to do is, by teasing her, to bring loving anger in her. So that's one of the rasa that Krishna wants to enjoy, to see this kind of loving anger in Mother Rukmani's face like that. So he's trying to provoke that loving anger. So he's continuing saying that in the next sloka we see that there are kings like Shishupala, Salva, Jarasandha, Dantavaktra. So they all hate me. So we heard in the previous chapters also, am I right? All these great the kings, so they hate Krishna. In fact, Jarasandha attacked many times to defeat Krishna. So all these things like Dantavaktra, Salva, all these things, kings, they hate Krishna. So and not only that, even your brother Rukmi, he also doesn't like me. So that's why we heard earlier, am I right? Rukmani's brother Rukmi, he wanted to give Rukmi to Shishupala. He doesn't like Krishna. He don't want to give Rukmini to Krishna like that. So Krishna is saying that it is to dispel the arrogance of these kings, because these kings are arrogant with their by seeing their opulence or their strength and all those things. To dispel their arrogance of these kings, I kidnapped you. So not that I have the next sloka also we say, we care nothing for wives, children, and wealth. Not that I have any love and affection for you, something like that. So he's saying that because these kings were blinded by the intoxication of power, I kidnapped you. My purpose is to curb their strength, to curb the strength of these wicked kings, not that I am attached to you, or I wanted to kidnap you for my own self like that. So that's why Krishna is mentioning in the 20th sloka that we care nothing for wives, children, and wealth, and we are always satisfied within ourselves. So like that. And Prabhupada also mentions that in Krishna book that I have only kidnapped you, agreed to kidnap you according to your desire, because Mother Rukmini sent a letter through Ramana asking to come and protect him from this uncomfortable situation or dangerous situation, as she wanted to become Krishna's wife. So she sent this letter, am I right? So according to your desire, I kidnapped you, and my purpose is to curb the these intoxicated these kings, the arrogant kings. Otherwise, I have no love for you, like that. And then Prabhupada also mentions that I am not very much interested in family life, or I am not very fond in family life, or wife, children, home, something like that. And he says that even my devotees, they are also not very much interested in these material possessions. They are neglectful of all these worldly possessions. And I am interested in only self-relations. I am also like my devotees. They are also interested in self-relation to progress in the path of bhakti, to go back home, back to Godhead. Similarly, I am also interested in self-relation. So that's why he says that I am self-satisfied, like that. So after saying this, in the next sloka, we see that Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning that after saying all these things, Krishna stopped speaking. And Sukadeva Goswami mentions that so Rukmini thought herself that by hearing Krishna's word, so she thought that so she will be separated from Krishna, because until that time, of course, after that also Krishna never separated, but until that time, Rukmini, Mother Rukmini, had association of Krishna all the time. So Krishna never left her company. So Krishna, by saying this, she had little good pride that so Krishna is with her all the time. So by saying these things, so Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning that he vanquished her pride, and then he started speaking like that. And Prabhupada also mentions in Krishna book that Rukmini was a bit proud to be so fortunate that Krishna never left her even for a moment also. And of course, we hear that Krishna he doesn't like any of his devotees to be proud. So of course, this is Krishna is teaching a lesson through this pastime to all the practicing devotees. Not that Rukmini is proud, but he's teaching through this pastime to all the practicing devotees that so Krishna doesn't like any of his devotees to be puffed up or proud. So that's why as soon as a devotee becomes proud, then Krishna performs a wonderful pastime to cut down their pride. And we heard in the earlier chapters also, right? Lord Indra, he was proud because of his power and position. Then Krishna performed this Govardhan Lila and protected Lord Indra from the this anartha of proud, like that. So even we hear that Krishna's Brahmana friend Sudama, he was also a little bit proud that he was very poor. Because of that, he is very humble, and he was able to perform great devotion service at the lotus feet of Krishna. Like that, he was a little bit proud. So that's why Krishna gave a lot of riches to Sudama. Of course, Sudama is being a great devotee, even though he had received a lot of great opulence from Krishna. So he was so detached. So he continued to live that simple life and performed a devotion service like that. So in this case also, Krishna said many things which were hard for Rukmini to hear. So that's why she could only conclude that Krishna could be separated from her at any moment. So just thinking that in the next sloka we see that Rukmini never heard this kind of unpleasantry words from Krishna, her beloved. So that's why she became very frightened, and the great anxiety arose in her heart, and then started crying like that. And then in the next sloka, we hear that so Mother Rukmini's tender foot effulgent with the reddish glow of her nails, then she started scratching the ground and tears coming from her eyes. Then she stood there and face down, and then voice choked up by extreme sorrow. So of course this sorrow is due to thinking of separation from Krishna, which is unable to bear for her. So because a devotee who has developed a pure devotion or Krishna prema, so they when a thought of separation from Krishna comes, they are unable to bear. So they will feel very morose and sorrow like that. So due to that, we see that here she lost so much weight that her bangle slipped from her hand. So generally, the bangles when they wear, they are fit like that, and it will not be coming very easily. So but here, because of that great unhappiness and fear and grief in Rukmini's mind, so she lost a lot of weight. So her bangles easily slipped from her hand, and she was doing service of fanning Krishna, so Chamara, and then that fan also fell to the ground because she became very weak. She cannot even hold that fan also. So due to that weakness, she suddenly fainted onto the ground. So her body fell to the ground like a plantain tree blown over by the wind. So generally, the plantain tree is very straight, the banana tree. So it's long and very straight. So when there is a great wind comes, it falls down like that. So similarly, due to the extremely painful fear and lamentation, so Mother Rukmini also became very weak and lost weight. So she fell to the ground like a banana tree blown over by the wind. So even her brain and memory also became puzzled. So she lost consciousness. It's like that. And in the purport also, it is mentioned that Rukmini is shocked by Lord Krishna's words, because she could not understand that Krishna is only teasing. So due to that, she displaced these ecstatic symptoms of grief like that. So that's why it is mentioned here that quoting Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, these symptoms are sattvika, so ecstatic symptoms, becoming stunned, tears coming from her eyes. So all these things. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also mentions, right? Nainam galadashudaya vadanam gadgadaruddhayagira pulakairnichitam vapukada tavanama grahane bhavishyate. Like when somebody developed great devotion for Krishna, so then these things will come automatically. The tears come from their eyes, voice will be choked up, all these things. So in the next few slokas, we see that seeing Krishna, Krishna saw this, that Mother Rukmini fell down. So then immediately Krishna, who is very merciful and compassionate to her, then he quickly got down and now he manifested his four arms so that he can do multiple things. One way, like he picked her up and he gathered her hair and caressed her face with his lotus hands like that. And Prabhupada mentions in Krishna book that so the relationship between Krishna and Rukmini is like that, Lakshmi and Narayan. So that's why Krishna appeared before Rukmini in his four-handed Narayana form like that. So, and in the 27, 28 slokas, we see that Krishna wipes Rukmini's eyes, which were filled with tears, and he also embraced her, who desired nothing but him like that. So here also we see that, Ananya Vishayam, Krishna, Rukmini, Mother Rukmini doesn't want anything except Krishna. So that's a pure devotion. Anya Bilashita Sunyam, Anukulyana Krishna Anusilam, Bhakti Uttamam, like that. So Mother Rukmini is like that, she doesn't want anything except Krishna. That. And in the last two slokas, Krishna started speaking, saying that, so do not be pleased with me. Do not be displeased with me, because he was saying all these words. So he thought that Rukmini might be displeased. So he was saying that I'm only speaking all these things in a joking manner, because I wanted to hear what you would say, because I wanted to see your loving anger like that. So in the purport also quoting Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, so Krishna wanted to see the loving anger of Mother Rukmini. That's why he was jokingly saying all these things like that. And Krishna continuing saying that, I wanted to see your face with the limbs trembling in loving anger. So that is the things. So that's why here Krishna is mentioning that do not be unkind to me by falling down like this. I know that you are very sincere and serious, and you are very greatly attached to me. You are my eternal companion. I wanted to irritate you because so that you can. I wanted to see what kind of counter arguments that you would give in a joking manner like that. But unfortunately, you have taken them seriously. So for that, I am very sorry for that, because Mother Rukmini is natural loving devotion towards Supreme Lord Krishna are dominated than showing the loving anger what Krishna is desired. So our natural loving devotion at the lotus feet of Krishna is predominated in this case. So that's why she could not understand Lord Krishna's teasing statements. Because of that, she fell down in ecstasy like that. So I'll pause it here. So this will be continued. This pastime will continue in the next session also. So I'll pause it here. Thank you all for giving this opportunity. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhya vaishnavebhya namo namah. Hare Krishna. Thank you all.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.